And hello, 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 hello. Hey there out there to all of you who are coming on up in here and listen to me and listen to the sound of my voice right here and right now. This is Demetrius Big Meach Taylor, and you're dishing tea and Dunkin' Crumpets, baby, right here and right now with Big Meach. So for all of you who are listening here, either on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or on Twitter, I thank you for coming on up in here, honey. I'm going to encourage you to follow me and subscribe and all of that. Make sure you hit all of the links appropriate to doing all of that so that we can become a family unit and things of that nature. I'm going to also encourage you to go to my website at www.dishingtea.com for everything Dishing Tea and to learn a few things about me. Let me do this commercial real quickly. I am embarking on a film endeavor. I'm about to make my film directorial debut in an independent film called Urban Camping. So the nature of this film is about homelessness, and we have here someone who a news reporter finds out about this scheme that the government is doing with the homeless people. They are arresting them, and they call it urban camping. So that's the charge. And so they arrest these homeless people, and then they start to use them for governmental experiments. Currently we're working on doing the trailer, but I'm saying all that to say, for those of you who don't know, that I started creating my own fragrances. I create my own unique body oil fragrances and things. So you're not going to get them anywhere else because these are my little recipes and things. And I created a scent called Campground. Campground. And that particular scent is very woodsy, very outdoorsy. It's fresh and clean, and it has a number of different elements to it. But the sale, every bottle of that we sell is going into our fundraiser for the film. So if you would like to help us with that, I encourage you to go to my website, dishingtea.com, to find out more information, or you can email me or instant message me directly, okay? Again, this particular fragrance is called Campground, and this is a fundraiser for my movie Urban Camping, okay, written by Miss Valerie Wood. Okay. So having said all that, let's get into this, because I want to something is in my crawl right now, and it's kind of pissing me off a little bit. But I just have to go there right now. And I'm seeing some of you are starting to come on up in here. I'm seeing hellos. Ovek. Is that how you pronounce it? Ovek Valero? Ovek Fadraz Vasquez Valero. I hope I said that right. Hi to you, baby. Thanks for coming on up in here. Okay. We have a number of you coming, so I'm going to continue on talking. I don't know how many of you have seen the video that is going viral now with the Lyft driver, and he pulled over to the side and have these Latino children, honey. I'm gonna call them these Latino queens, honey, in the back seat, and they were the one is cutting the fuck up, okay? This heifer is sitting up here living. Her name, and she says her name in the video. Her name is Ortiz. Miss Ortiz. She is cutting up something fierce, okay? Because she's upset that the driver wouldn't put on any music, or when she asked for music or whatever, the driver said no, he didn't have any music. So she is upset and carried on and is cutting a fucking fool and wanted to call the police, that I'm not leaving this car and this, that, and the other. Then she wanted to claim she's being racially profiled. And she stood up there saying that because she's not black, she thinks that the damn driver has a problem with that. If I was black or whatever, you would turn on the music and blah, blah, yakely, she says, that she's just carrying the fuck on. Okay? Now, the reason why I'm having a problem with this is because the driver, you know, there's two videos. The one where she cuts up, and then there's his rebuttal that happens a couple of days later, I believe. And so he says in his rebuttal that, when he picked him up or whatever, that They asked for music, and he said no. She asked, "Do you have any music?" He said no, and he said she asked again, "Do you have any music?" And he said she came across, with that tone, like, why you lying to me, kind of thing. He said, I said it again very passively, no, I don't. And so say she wanted to cut up, so he pulled over, and he said he had only been driving for like 2 minutes, okay. And so he said he would cancel the ride, because he didn't want her to have a bad experience. And Miss Thing just sat down there and cut a fucking fool. Okay, and so now she made this into a whole spectacle of a thing, and wanted to get the police involved and this, that, and other. Now her friends that was in the car with her and carrying on, they were, they got to cutting up a little bit, but then they were like, come on, child, let's just get on about it. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not leaving. I am not leaving this car. So now she's trying to prove a fucking point. And then she'd have got belligerent, a little bit, and she'd have put her phone in this boy's face because he's recording me against my will and this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. You do not have permission to record me and this, that, and the third. And let me tell y'all something about that. You don't have permission to record me bullshit. Everybody has a camera phone. And right now, because there are no legislations to get that, now you could say if you put me up on Facebook or whatever the case may be, you may have some ground there, but you can't tell nobody they can't record you, or they can't use their phone and not record you and this, that, and the other. Now, for those of you who doing sexual deviances and carrying on, and you trying to save face or whatever, well, honey, that's just part of the business. If you've grown enough to do it, child, just know there's going to be consequences behind it. But here's the question. Why do we consider, or why do we think that we have to, it is imperative for us to reward negative behavior? Okay, hold on. Check the manual on the inverse and terrorist front drive. All clear this time. Copy that. Y'all know I'm at the donut factory. Okay. So, why is it that we feel as though that it is okay to reward negative behavior? Okay. Now, I've had a conversation like this a while ago, because when we're looking at reality television, we got all these bitches sitting up here. They love to fight and cut up and carrying on. They get paid for that shit, and they become little celebrity stars and all of that, across the globe. But we are rewarding them for negative and bad behavior. And so I'm doing this because I have an associate of mine who is very, 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 very set on making sure that he lets everybody know, I'm down for my own kind, and because I'm LGBT, I'm down with them, good, right or wrong. I would stick by them, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. I get the sentiment behind that. But one of the things that we got to stop doing is rewarding or accepting negative behavior, and then we fighting tooth and nail when these bitches are wrong. Okay? This queen is wrong as two left shoes on a right foot. And because the cab driver was of island descent, whether he's from one of the islands, Jamaica, one of the Caribbeans, honey, it could be Jamaica, the Bahamas, Antigua, something, he's from one of those particular islands, and he has a strong accent. And we all know that a lot of the island children, honey, as far as LGBT people are concerned or whatever, they have a bad disdain for him. And so my associates, I'm not going to call his name yet, but he know who he is, because I'm sure when he listens to this, he's going to comment. But he feels as though, they always have a bad disposition against us anyway. And then he went, he probably did X, Y, and Z, and he probably didn't want to play the music because he knew that they were gay. And we got all these probablys and carrying on. And I'm like, that's beside the point, because what happened in the video, the bitch stood up there and said there was no violence, there was no loud talking, there was no nothing. So she already admitted that this was a situation that was calm. It had nothing to do with nothing. And she kept saying that he would not turn on the music. And according to my contract, it is in their contract that music is often, bitch, how in the hell you know what's in the contract? Ain't nobody, you ain't sit down there and read what your rights and shit are with this damn, with Uber and Lyft and carrying on. The bitch, you know what? Don't you hate it when bitches want to sit down there and act as if they are that intelligent and shit, gonna tell you what the hell the shit is? You know, you don't even work for the damn thing, but you gonna tell them about their contracts and carrying on. Now, for shits and giggles, let's say she did read it and she's sitting up there saying, okay, well, you supposed to allow me. If the man is the driver and don't want to turn on his radio, what makes you think he's supposed to because you asked? And when he pulled over, why didn't you just get the fuck out the car and say, fucking cancel this ride? I don't want to be bothered with you. You know, because there were other options to all of that. But no, this bitch want to sit down here and she want to cut a jig. So now here it is. Why do we feel as though that kind of behavior has to sit down there? We have to reward it. We have to stand up for it. We have to sit down and say, no, 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 no. We're going to fight for what's right. What was right in that? What was right in that? Okay, because let's take this across the board. See, I don't hear folks fighting for the thug on the street and carrying on unless they thugs and shit. You know what I'm saying? They sit up there and try to live by the code of the street and this, that, and the other, and who's soft and who ain't and all this old little bullshit or whatever. But bad behavior is bad behavior. Why do we feel as though we have to defend it and or reward it when it is out of line? Okay, and you may say, who are you to say what is and what is not out of line? Well, honey, I'm going to say it like this. Anytime behavior goes against the grain to where it becomes a negative, it's spewing out hatred, it is spewing out venom, it is spewing out a negative look and a negative image and all kinds of anything that is not positive that's going to grow, and it's spewing out shit that's going to be destructive. Why would anybody say, oh, because you did that, we're going to sit down here and I'm going to give you $1 million and carry on? Why do we reward bad behavior? Huh? Why do we do that bullshit? What is it that says that we're supposed to do it? Why do we feel that we need to do it? Okay? And let's get into that, because if y'all put your comments down up in here, because I want to hear this, because I want to know, why is it that particularly I'm gonna go particularly African Americans, but we know this is not exclusive to our culture. However, we see it happening all the time. You see it on the YouTube videos. You know, how in the hell do you think world star hip hop is popular? Because we got a whole bunch of negative shit that goes out. You know, all these goddamn fighting videos and carrying on, and everybody trying to become these little cute little reality show stars and YouTube internet sensations and shit over some fuck shit. You know, just fuckery and foolishness. And yet we sit up there and clap and say, oh, bitch, you good. Okay, oh, you's a bad bitch, girl. Okay, you did that. Did what? Okay, what about this brings about any kind of growth to you? How is it that you're going to look back on this, particularly if you have children? How is it that you're going to look back on this and say, damn, you know what I'm saying? They always say, okay, when you look back over your life, I'm sure you've done things that, you know, they always say, well, you've done stuff. I got stuff that I'm not proud of. No, don't say you ain't proud of it, bitch. Just say you did some stupid shit. Because while you were doing it, honey, it was fun or whatever it was in it. So don't act like, oh, I'm not proud of it. Nah, bitch, no. Own it. I did it, and I was young and stupid and carrying on, caught up and wanted to be a celebrity, and I thought that was the route. If you're honest with that, then maybe that could start the self-healing that is required and things of that nature. So why is it that we want to reward negative behavior? Okay, now when we were kids, didn't we get our asses whooped? We got our hands popped or whatever anytime we got out of line, anytime we did something that was going against the grain of growth. Okay, if you talked back, if you rolled your eyes or whatever, if you stumped your foot, if you slammed your mama's door, you got what? You got your ass toe up, or you was on punishment. Sometimes both, depending on the household. Depending on the household you come up in or whatever. Why is it now that we feel as though it is okay to reward bad behavior? Okay, why is it? Let me go ahead and say hello. I see a number of you have come up in here. And I want to say hey to you. Let's see, Tremaine, you're here. Glenn, hey Glenn, how you doing, baby? David, you're here. Barry, Dennis, hey, what's going on with you, baby? Jerome done came in, Mitchell done came in, and Kelly has come in. All right, so what's going on, people? Okay, talk to me. Why is it that we feel as though this particular phenomenon it's growing actually? Why is it that it's picking up momentum? Why is it picking up uh, uh, why, I said momentum already. Why is it doing that? Huh? Why is it that we feel as though that this is what we're supposed to do? Okay, or that it's okay to do? Huh? Because I don't see any reward in that. I don't see the benefit of it. I don't see how it takes us and moves us forward. You know, in fact, what it does, it just continuously perpetuates the stereotypical narratives that we hear about our people, about us. Period. Now, let me come out of this being a black thing or out of it being a gay thing. Let's take this across that it's a human thing, because look at those who we consider to be quote unquote white trash or trailer park trash and this, that, and the other. And the stereotype is there. Why? Because there are people there or who fit the stereotype that they're countrified bumpkins or whatever. Their educational levels may not be all that high, or their appearance seems to be, is indicative of someone who is slovenly and carrying on. But we have said, and the narrative of all that says that this is what this is, right? So when we go look at that, we point this kind of stuff out. So when they start acting crazy because they get some beer in their system, what we say, oh, here they go, here go these damn hit, these damn country folk, these bumpkins. Okay, oh, y'all just trailer park trash. So we all that stuff, we start to spew that kind of stuff. Okay, but then now we're in a culture to where we celebrate it for whatever reasons. It gives you your guilty pleasures when you turn on the television. Look at Jerry fucking Springer. Jerry Springer has lasted on the air for 25 years. 25 years. And the first five, I'm going to say the first 5 or 6 years when he was legitimate talk show, I liked him then. I thought he was very informative and things of that nature. But when he turned on and got these folks sitting up here fighting and things and carrying on, when they started adding the sound effects, and then it started to become a show. Because now you saying we up here fighting this shit, but you're going to have the security come break it up, but then y'all going to ring the bell so we can start fighting again. That's a setup. So now y'all done set this bullshit up to where folks are sitting up here going through the notions of things, but yet we reward it. What, they get paid for coming on the show. They get airfare and tickets and things to all of that to do what they do. Hold on, y'all, hold on. I got to give him his little sticker. All right. Thanks. We reward them for all this old fuckery and carrying on, and yet, there's no consequences for it, So they'll sit down there and do all this craziness and things, and then the reward becomes, oh, bitch, you did that. Oh, I thought, wasn't you on TV? Then you done made them into these little pseudo celebrities and shit. And then now what? Then they get little product endorsements and carried on and all this, that, and the third, and then nothing comes from it. And in order for them to stay relevant, now they have to continue on with the madness that they've created that you said you liked because you patted them on the back for that shit. See? And why? Why do we do it? Okay? What is the fascination in that says that it is okay for us to continue to reward that kind of behavior, to continue to accept that kind of behavior as normal? Hell, when they do that in prisons go on lockdown, child. When folks get out of hand or whatever in the prison systems and things, they go on lockdown. Now you would think it would be accepted in that because they're coming from violent. We know we're dealing with violent folk up in here for the most part. Not those, I'm gonna exclude those who have been, you know, they got chunked up charges or whatever, and you went to jail for non-violent crimes. But for the most part, you got folk up in here, hell, you know the gangs and shit up in there. So if this is prison, and this is supposed to be the punishment, all right, so if we know there's a, excuse me, pardon me, if we know there's a consequence for unruly behavior and carrying on, and prison is one of them, why in the hell do we accept that on television? Because none of them bitches went to jail. You see what I'm saying? This bitch in this story, if y'all haven't seen it, go to my wall, because I put it up on my wall. The Lyft driver and the sissies in the back seat. Okay, go look at that. Now the first half of it is 17 minutes long because, yeah, it goes. The dude ended up cutting the camera off before the police got there. Okay, because Lil Miss Thing, you know, she kind of egging him a little bit, and it shows. Like she's trying to provoke him into something, and then she's on the phone talking about something. Oh, I'm afraid for my life. Well, bitch, if you had got out the goddamn car and just said, fuck it, I could have went on about my business. See, here's the thing, and I've done this on several of occasions. If I didn't agree with the charge that Uber or Lyft has put on my account, baby, they get a quick email, but no, you're going to take that off. Because this ride was this ride was that, and no, we're not going to have that, you know. And if they don't take it off, they'll give me a credit, you know, for my next ride or whatever. So, having said all that, this thing could have got out that damn car. She could have cussed him out with her friends and carried on and went on about her damn business. All right now, you see what I'm saying? This here, it did not require all of that. And so I'm still trying to figure out, why is it that we want to reward that? Why is it that we feel we have to defend that for those who want to defend it? What is it that you're saying about all that that you feel that folks are missing that we need to get? Now, the person that I'm talking about, in his comments on the thing, he was like, well, you know, he's assuming that the driver was homophobic. He's assuming that well, and then he said, well, when I heard him say that he had gospel music in his religion, I was done then. So that shows me you didn't listen to the whole thing. Because what he said was that I usually play jazz music because it's less offensive. Okay, he said he had the radio on once, and he had a customer tell him that he was trying to influence her religiously because a gospel song had come on the radio. And so he said, so I've learned over the years, you know, over the time that he's been driving, you know, that hell, not everything is for everybody. So, you know, sometimes if he's going to put the music on, he's going to have it on jazz, or he's not going to play it. And this particular day, he wasn't playing music, so Miss Thing got upset. So that's what he said in the second video. Okay, so I'm still trying to get how your inferences or what you think were context clues or whatever, because you felt or assumed he was homophobic or whatever, or because Islanders don't like gay folks, that this turned into something that it did not turn into. See, all that is speculation, and see, that's what the fuck that bitch did when she sat up there and wanted to say, oh, I'm being racially profiled. Then what pissed me off about it, and the reason why it pissed me off is because of how she said it. Now, she's Latino, Hispanic, and carrying on, so you know we cousin races anyway. So she gets on the phone and call her girlfriend and be like, child, this nigga done set up here and did this, and this. And after saying that she was being racially profiled, to call him a nigga right behind that threw me. And I know she was trying to use it in the way that most of us use it or whatever, you know, trying to, as a pseudo term of endearment or whatever, or just the words just a throwaway word. But in that particular instance, the context that bothered me was, you just said you were racially profiled, okay? Which it wasn't, because he never said nothing about them being Hispanic or whatever, or anything about their skin color. Racially profiling is about the color of your skin and your ethnicity. It ain't got nothing to do with your orientation. Hold on. Okay. Copy that. So, so why is it that, you know, he went there with all that shit, and it floored me, because I was like, bitch, you don't even know what the hell you talking about. I'm being racially profiled. Bitch, he never said nothing about your skin color. He never, he if that was the case, he would have canceled the call when he saw you. You wanted to say he was homophobic, and instead of saying homophobic, you said you were being racially profiled because I'm gay. Bitch, that mm-hmm. Okay, so let that sit for a minute. How is being gay a racial issue? See, this is the fuckery that I talk about because, see, the LGBT community is at war with many other communities because when we go to talking, it's shit like that makes it impossible for other people to join on the bandwagon with us or want to partner with us as we try to force through to gain equity. Okay? Because you don't know what the hell you talking about. That was fuckery all damn day. Okay? Fuckery. All day. So I'm trying to understand this. So if anybody else feels as though that the girls or the queens in that damn car are supposed to be celebrated or supposed to be rewarded, or we supposed to defend those girls simply because they're LGBT, then I need to hear from you. Let me know in what form or capacity are we supposed to reward that kind of behavior. And here's the thing. Let me say this, because when we are with our duties, our family, and carrying on, we ride or die, carrying on. I got your back, right, wrong, and indifferent. I got you. Now we do that with folks who are in our inner circle, who we love and carrying on. But in public, I will defend you and carrying on and make sure that don't nobody come for you to hurt you. But when we get in private, bitch, we gonna wear that ass out. Because if you wrong, and you need to be told. So where is it that when do we stop defending negative behavior and then calling these folks out on it and holding them responsible for their fuckery? Because I never hear that side of it. Let me go to the comments. I'm seeing y'all coming up in here. Lanier, hey, baby, what's wrong? What's going on with you? You know what? Me and you need to talk. I still want you to come on the radio show. Now, see, you said what? They're accepting the fuckery because watching that fuckery in media says to them, it's not just me. Really? Now, that's an interesting perspective. That's interesting. Centrail, you done came up in here, hey, baby. And then you say, he said the driver was racist against gay people. There's no such thing. That's what the fuck I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Okay, who else that came up in here? We got Randall. Hey, what's going on? And Kimberly has come up in here. Daddy Kellison came up in here. Kimberly, you said what? Their asses was wrong. Their asses was wrong. Fuck that. Okay. Right. Listen. I'm still trying to understand why is it that folks, for those who feel to defend them, because that's just a thorn in my side right now. Because what I'm hearing is that we don't get they get a slap on the wrist or whatever, and then we could just give them a pass, and then they just going about their damn business on their merry little way. I'm not understanding that. I'm not even having that. I'm not even accepting that. I'm not even accepting that because that there was bullshit. It's bullshit from the beginning. It's bullshit from the top of it. It's bullshit all the way around. That doesn't even make sense to me. How in the hell we can accept this, or even to defend it? You know what I'm saying? I mean, let's look at the ghetto mentality, because we always said it about black folks and carrying on, and we need to do this, and this, and how their whole ghetto fabulous. We need to elevate our consciousness from all of this, that, and the other. Where are the LGBT children, honey? Who are the conscious children in this particular case? Where are our children to sit there and say, "Bitch, we need to rise up against all this little fuckery"? Okay. The gay children, the lesbian children, the bi children, the trans children, everyone, and the questioning and all the other alphabets that's in it. Where are those who will sit up there and say and stand up for every letter to say, you know what, we will stand up against this kind of fuckery, because see, we're not going to accept you using that to be the narrative that defines all of us. You know what I'm saying? So when are we going to stop trying to defend foolishness? Okay? When are we gonna start trying to defend for? And then let me say this, because maybe I've been a little too harsh. Maybe um maybe we need to look at this from another perspective. Perhaps, you know, uh, this becomes a whole big old thing of, young and youth and things, and they doing their thing to express themselves. This is their way of learning how to. They need to learn how to get over it. They're trying to force their way into life, and yeah, they're going to make mistakes, and we have to be there to show them the ropes or whatever. But showing them the ropes in my book means that we chastise their asses when they're wrong. So how is it that we're able to see it from one side, but don't correct it on the other? Huh? So, yeah, I'm trying to get that. Okay, Lanier, you said what? At least his now former job didn't accept that. His job fired him after that video went viral. Now, yeah, I heard that, and I read that on in the caption of the driver's second video. I'm trying to find the report. If somebody got the report of it to where we can see, I want that documented so I can sit down there and be able to put my hands on it. Because right now, I'm feeling that we're all putting our hearsay because we read it. But I need to find the documentation that says, according to this and this, that, and that. Let's source that so that we can have that factual. Because, yeah. I want to make sure that we get that together. Yes, baby. Yeah. Because see, and again, now let's look at it from this particular point too. Because see, now here's something that we have to consider as well. Because see, now jobs and employers and carried on, honey, they're not playing with us no more. As far as, they always tell you that your business, your personal business, shouldn't show up on the job or whatever. But now, because we're in the social technology, everything is social media, and we're in a technological age, the bosses are going and finding your shit. Okay, HR presidents and HR directors and stuff are looking at your Facebook pages. They're looking at your Instagrams and things to see the kind of person that you are. Damn, what kind of skill level you have. They want to see what kind of person that you are for your daily interactions. I don't think that that's fair. Because if you don't want me to bring my work here, why in the hell are you judging me on my personal life? Okay, but at the same time, you got those who do dastardly things in their personal time that goes against company policies and the integrity of the company. So this is a catch-22, and it's a slippery slope, because I do feel it's an invasion of privacy. But at the same time, because of how we are with social media, if you put it out there, sweetie, then that means you stand behind it. Everything that I have done, good, bad, or indifferent, honey, my half-naked pictures of me and carrying on that's out there from when I'm on vacation, I know what's out there about me, for the most part. Okay, the shit that I control, that I got out there and carrying on, I know what's out there. So, and I stand behind it all because it's me. At the same time, if there's a problem with it, honey, then y'all need to come and tell me about it, because shit, I'm on my own personal time. I'm on vacation. What the fuck do you do on vacation? Okay, what do you do on vacation? Okay. So that there be that. If I decide to put a sex tape out about me, honey, everybody has sex. So why is that? How is that going against the company? Everybody has sex, and especially you got kids, or you got a wife or a husband, or whatever the case may be. If I decide to share my experiences publicly or whatever, what business is that of yours? And how is that an image that destroys a company? And why would you feel the need to go find that? Or why would somebody go and tell you about it because they found it? Okay? So we're in this society to where, again, negative behavior becomes rewarded. Okay? And what I do in my personal time is my personal time and carrying on. If I choose to share it, that's one thing. But for those who want to go digging up shit and carrying on, that's a whole separate thing. And you digging it up to have dirt to say that I'm a negative person. You see what I'm saying? But this kind of tomfoolery that this bitch just did in that car to prove a point, I'm having a hard time with this one. I'm having a really hard time with anybody who wants to defend that. And I want to hear it because right now I'm just reading it. So the person who wrote the stuff, I know. See, we, we love to have these little intense debates like that, but we're very friendly. But how he writes, his writing bites, okay, and I can hear a certain tone in his writing. But I know if he was here and had come in on the live, we'll be able to have a dialogue, and I can hear his point of view and hear how he's going to present the argument. At the same time of him presenting that argument, I'm still not understanding how is it we find ways to defend negative behavior. You know what I'm saying? Especially public displays of negative behavior. How do we sit down here and understand that? How do we do that and yet do not hold the people accountable for it? Because see, oftentimes the accountability and the responsibility is not taken into effect. Folks who feel as though they could do and say anything that they want to say and they could get away with it. Y'all see how we have computer courage. Folks, we have no filter these days. Folks feel as though they could say what the fuck they want to say because they got 140 characters to do it in, and they slide something out on Facebook or on media or whatever, social media, but we don't know how to relate to one another. So when we get face to face, what somebody else is calling, she real, she don't take no shit. Other folks are calling computer courage. Like, bitch, you don't know how, you have no tact, no couth. There's a better way for you to do that, but because you got caught up in your computer courage, or because how you talk on the internet and feel like you could just say some shit and shut it down and then walk away from the computer screen, bitch, no, there's consequences because you say that shit in my face, depending on how you say it and how you neck roll me and shit, bitch, you might get knocked. Okay? All for the sake of you trying to keep it real or keeping a honey. That's what it is, keeping a honey. So, So y'all tell me, if you have not seen that video yet, I'm telling you, it's up on my wall. Just scroll down a little bit on my wall, and y'all will see it because I said, this bullshit here is how I titled it. And you will see the black driver with the Hispanic queens in the background. And just hit the video and look at it. And you tell me, is that behavior worthy of being defended? Okay, and is it worthy of us looking at it and saying, oh, girl, you got a point? Because, yeah, we do know that the islanders and stuff, they don't like gay people like that. So, y'all, yeah, he possibly didn't turn the music on because he had a problem with y'all. See, that's feeding and putting kindling on a fire, okay, that's about to burn out of control for no reason because all that bitch had to do was get the fuck out the car. When he pulled over, she should have gotten out the car, had him cancel the ride so she wouldn't get paid any, because when the drivers cancel the ride, they don't charge you, see. And so that there was something that needs to be said. They don't charge you when the driver cancels it. And she should have told him, no, you cancel that damn ride. And we'll wait for another one. If you were, if she was offended by that. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, my throat. Let me take some water. I got something that's in the back of my throat. Okay, that's better. So, that's what's going on. Listen, we had some more folks come up in here. Brianna Nicole, hey darling, hey daughter. Reggie, you done came up in here as well, I see. But here, I'm talking blue in the face, and here, there's nowhere else to go with this particular conversation because right now I just feel as though I'm preaching to the choir, so now the choir needs to go out and sing. We need to understand how we can do better as a community and how we can stop fortifying negative behavior by rewarding it and giving it accolades and giving it applause and telling, and co-signing it. Because there are some things that do not need co-signing. This would have been a different rally had this been a homophobic move. Had the driver actually said something or whatever. But when this bitch on the phone told the 911 operator, no, there are no weapons. No, there was no loud talking or whatever. There was no. He just pulled the car over to the side and said that he didn't have any music. You know, and I'm supposed to get music, and then that's when she went into her little tissy. I'm like, bitch, this is all you. This ain't got nothing to do with the damn driver. This is all you. So when you admit that the driver ain't said nothing out the way, he ain't said nothing crazy, how in the hell do you go from he ain't said nothing crazy to now you being racially fucking profiled because you gay? Some stupid fuck shit is that. Don't even make no damn sense. You being racially profiled because you're gay. Bitch, that ain't racially profiling. Race is skin tone. Race is your ethnicity. It ain't got nothing to do with your sexual orientation, child. And see, that fuckery that sits down there and gets perpetuated, and then you wonder why we have no allies, or it's hard to get our allies, or it's hard to get our straight counterparts to sit down there and rally behind us because we always making a mockery of other shits. That done became a mockery because you don't even know what the hell you're talking about. And then you want to criticize, well, black lives don't matter. You know, you wanted to go there. Then the bitch said she voted for Trump. So now you got all these so-called little attributes that are stacked up that you trying to, you know, because you trying to make a point. Bitch, you Latino, he trying to come after you and your kind, ho. He trying to sit down there and deport everybody. So you trying to tell him because he black or whatever, I didn't know if she made the island reference or not. She never said anything about him being an islander. She kept saying black. So in my mind, see, I can assume and presume. Hold on. That's a copy. Copy that. So I can sit down here and assume and presume, oh, well, yeah, well, because, you know, she's a Trump supporter. You know, she's sitting there trying to tell all black folks to go back to Africa. And see, I could do all that crazy ass shit, but why? Because nothing. That's just fodder. That's fodder, and it's tabloid bullshit that means nothing. And it just continues on with bullshit. So why do we continue to reward behavior? Why do we continue to subscribe to it, to negative behavior? Huh? Why do we continue to do that? What do we get out of it is the better question. What is it that we get out of supporting and rallying around negative behavior and rewarding it that is missed from everybody else? Huh? Tell me that. What is it that's being missed? What is it that folks are not getting, folks are not understanding? Huh? What is it that we're not understanding? You know, if anybody can answer that question, that would be absolutely divine. Okay? Absolutely divine, darling. So, talk to me. Okay, talk to me. Tell me what I'm missing. What the hell am I missing? Okay? That is is the T. Okay? What are we missing? What are we missing? So on that note, I'm going to end this here because I'm finding myself repeating myself, and I think I just had to get that rant up off of me, and et cetera, et cetera. I may come back a little bit later because I do want to talk about the Brett Kavanaugh decision, and we want to, I need to talk about the current administration because he has some current victories up under his belt, children. And there's good in everybody. We may not like his successes or whatever, but he has successes, and he's doing what he has set out to do. Now, he's got help along the way and things of that nature, but I want to get into that in depth, but I want to get some research done first because to me, it just seems as though when President Obama was in office, the Congress done everything that they could to stop him from making his strides or whatever. Here we seem like no matter how boisterous and how ostentatious and how divisive the current administration is, whatever this man comes out this man's mouth, it fuels his constituency. And it just seems as though this is no longer about being a pro-Trump. This is all about being anti-Obama administration. because everything that he's doing is he's targeting everything that Obama has done and trying to either repackage it, trying to credit it into something else, trying to destroy it and do whatever. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit later on, a little bit more in depth. So having said all that, again, I want to go back to y'all, honey. Why do we reward negative behavior? Why do we feel as though it is okay to sit down there and pat a bitch on the back because she knew how to read you and read you in public and got real crazy? And instead of putting her ass in check to say, bitch, you was out of line, we sit down there and we co-sign that bullshit. No, we've got to do better than that. We've got to come out of that because, again, whenever those behaviors go forward, that's the kind of shit that becomes a narrative. Black women, y'all look at the housewives shows or whatever. Do you like the idea that Nene Leakes and Kenya Moore and all these other little bitches, do you like the fact that everybody is judging black women based upon what they see on these particular kind of shows? Because black women ain't all that. And they're not all of what those children are doing like that, with the cussing and the fussing and jumping over tables. Miss Evelyn Larazzo, ain't that her name, Basketball Wives? She's sitting up there, everybody want to throw a drink in everybody's face. Everybody got all these they got 27, 29, 32 inches worth of hair in their head. Okay, trying to look fabulous and shit. Everything is all about the fake. Everything is all about the fake. Nothing real on these bitches. Their titties ain't real, honey. Everybody getting ass jobs. They're wearing all this weave. They got extended lashes. Nothing about them is real, but yet they claim they're keeping it real because they know how to put you in check. And what do? We reward them by still watching that old crazy ass shit. Or we simply say, oh, child, that's so it's entertaining. And yet we reward that, and then we go running and flocking to them when they come out to the little shows, and you go see the little public appearances and shit, because now you've made them a celebrity based on fuckery and bullshit and foolishness. Why? Why, people? Why? Okay, is it an escape? Because we all have, if that's what it is, and be honest about it. Which it is what it takes my mind off my bullshit and carrying on because they cutting the food, and I can sit down there and really, if that's what it is, then so be it, because that's honestly and that's legit. Now, how do we move beyond that is the question. You know what I'm saying? So how do we do that? How do we then make it, sustainable without having to reward it? You know what I'm saying? How is it that we make it a teachable moment or a teachable lesson without it becoming something that we have to now, it's become adulterated because all we have done is sat down here and made it so we got the narrative saying that this is how we act. This is our normal. This is our normal behavior. This is how we do on an everyday basis. So I don't know, child. That's just something. So with that, honey, you may finish all of your crumpets because the tea has been dished. If you got some tea in your cups ready, dunk your crumpet, baby, eat it. Let's do the damn thing, honey. So I'm going to sit down here. I'm going to leave y'all with that to ponder and all of that. Share this video with other folks. Let's get this conversation going, honey, and dish this tea right here. So, honey, if you love me, tell a friend, honey. If you hate me, tell an enemy. But do know this: one way, shape, style, form, or fashion, everything that I'm doing will move forward. Okay? We need to stop rewarding negative behavior. I'll talk with y'all again soon. Ciao.